Welcome to my kitchen. Wanted to share a little something that helps my family get through the month. A lot of low-income families, they struggle to have food all the way through the month, and especially things like meat. I've found a way that seems to be working very well. We've been doing it several months now, and each month it seems to be getting a little better. I spend a little bit more money towards this purchase of meat in bulk. I've got a, let me tip the camera here without messing things all up. I've got a sealer that I can seal all my stuff in, and I buy large bags of tri-tip, pork and beef. Let me go to the fridge here and get one of those, and we're going to cut it open and package it out for a moment. We're going to start with this nice pork tri-tip. They have them individually cut up already. The little tri-tips. Okay, you guys might have seen this at the store. Raley's carries these. It was actually a Raley's Daily. I'm not advertising for Raley's. It was $30 for this. $30, I received 10.19 pounds of pork tri-tip. Pork loin, sirloin, chop, boneless. So I'm going to take this to the sink and be very careful with the handling of this pork, as pork and chicken tends to have more bacteria in them than you'll find in beef and stuff. You always want to make sure you clean your surfaces really well after you get the juices from pork and chicken on, you know, your sink or your counters. I prefer not to get it on the counters. So yeah, I'm not really set up for the sink, but we're going to do this. I'm going to try to re-angle the camera while we're shooting the video, and put this in the sink for now. I cleaned my sink out already, and I think I can reassume this right here. It will stay. Sorry about that. Okay, well, it's not the best angle, but we're going to go with this for now while I rinse the pork. Before I rinse the pork, I'm going to make a bag. And this is a really cool sealer. Make a good sized bag here. About that big. I'm going to seal the end. And I just thought of something really smart. And that is, if I just take a little extra time and double seal the bag, then you won't get that problem you sometimes get. That's a nice seal. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to put another one just behind it. Just another seal all the way across, because sometimes they don't seal very well. This Food Saver bagging machine, the V2860, it works really well. So I've got one bag ready. I'm probably going to need at least 4. I suppose I could have prepped before shooting the video for that, but and of course we're out of bags. Well, we're not out of bags. We just need to go get another bag. So we're going to seal that once. I'm going to step away, get a bag. I'm very fortunate, guys, that my mom purchased this machine and a lot of these bags. Now, we've done one seal on this bag. I'm going to seal it one more time, like I said, just to ensure. Double seal on the bottom, and I'll double seal it on the top after I vacuum seal it up. I think I'm going to need 3 bags. Because I'm going to do, I did 2 pork tri-tips per bag last time, and it was enough, but I think I want to do a little bit, 3 pork tri-tips per time that I cook it, because I put it in the crock pot. And I leave it in the crock pot, like leaving it on the stove. And the crock pot stays on warm as long as I don't unplug it. So I cook it on low for 8 hours or whatever it takes to properly cook it. And then it stays on warm and just keeps the food safe from bacteria because it's over the 180 whatever degrees. I haven't checked the temperature. I'll have to check the temperature, but I've got my 3 bags. Okay, so we're going to go over here to the sink. Nice clean sharp knife. And this is where I'm usually very careful, because I just have a safety concern for all pork and chicken. So put that over there. Now what I want is my tongs, which I didn't prepare for, and I will bet you they are not clean, but I think these ones will work. You know, this isn't going to work. I just got to go for it. I've already washed my hands. Try to get it all on the inside of the bag instead of the outside of the bag. Once the first one's in there, it's a little easier. Props open. Gotta smell it, make sure it's good. This one's a big one. I'm going to put it in another bag. And the drier you keep the surface that you're adding. See, I'll have to take a towel and dry the lip of the inside of these bags, because that will make it seal a little bit better. It will seal it with the liquid there, but it tends to not seal as well. So I need one more. Oh boy, that's another big one. We'll put that right on in here. I just recommend cleaning these bags on the outside after you get them all secure. Cleaning them from the stuff that causes bacteria. Okay, so that bag is full. Okay. So I'm going to wash my hands really good now, because I handled this stuff. Well, actually, I need to get a towel really quickly. Let's get rid of the yucking. Get it down the sink as quickly. I mean, I didn't rinse the bag. Be right back with a towel. towels here. And I'm just gonna put it inside the lip of this bag, and I just squeeze the bag on the towel and pull the towel out, and that dries it well enough to get most of it. You see, I just put it there and squeeze it out. Get a little bit of moisture off of there. And wipe the excess on the outside. I'm gonna have to wash my hands again. That's why I didn't wash them well like I was talking about. I rinsed them because I knew that this was not done getting on my hands. Okay, now I've got the bag cleaned up for the most part. I'm going to take this towel and give it a total flip inside out for the next round. I'm going to do beef next, but no cross-contamination. Soap and water for the rinse, for the wash. They say, you recite your ABCs, you've washed your hands well. I just washed my hands well. Not that I can't sing my ABCs, but just wash and rinse them well. And dry them with a different towel. Because that towel is contaminated, but it's flipped inside out and ready for the next round. Okay, let's get the sealing here. I actually want to dump one of these into the other. So I have two large bags. I don't know if it's important for you guys to see me seal this or not. I'll show you that it's open. And put the bag into the channel on the machine. I'm going to put it on a normal speed, and every once in a while it doesn't work. So you want to readjust it onto the device. It seems to be sucking. Yes, it's going to get a good seal. Oh yeah. And now it's putting the seal to it. What I'll do is I'll unlock it. I'll pull it just a hair back, and I'll do a second sealing. Just above the one that I did. And that'll ensure that it, hopefully ensure that it stays nice and snug in there and keeps it from getting freezer burned as easily. So I'll put that in the crock pot at some point, but for now it's going to go in the freezer, and we are all set to go. One for the freezer. Now I noticed that this one didn't get a double seal on the bottom, so I'm going to try and get it in there. See if I can't squeeze it in for a second seal. Yeah, I got a second seal on there. So Yep, into the freezer. And we'll do this bag. Now I notice on these bags there's a soft, smooth side and a side that's rough, you know, rough side and smooth side. I haven't figured out what's best as far as sealing or any of that, having smooth side down, smooth side up, but as long as when you're to pause it and then turn it back on. Spank it a couple times and it seals automatically. So this one's got a double on the bottom. Unlock it, bring it out a hair, and seal it again. Oh, you gotta let the sealer cool down just a hair. So, for $30, I got 2 nice packages of pork tri-tip. I'll put these into the crock pot, and the family will probably eat for 2, if not 3 days off this. Sandwiches, or put it over rice, or potatoes, or however, you could just do it all different kinds of ways. Once you've shredded it, you could shred it any flavor you want with your favorite barbecue sauce. They have seasonings made to marinate it. You can put that right in the crock pot, and it's going to flavor your meat over 8 hours while you're at work. When you come home, you'll walk into a house that smells wonderful, and it's easy to feed your family. And I believe it's cheaper. I believe it's cheaper. So, another one in the freezer. Give my hands a really good rinse. I rinse my hands a lot. I will use soap when I handle the meat directly, the pork and the chicken mostly. I'm not as timid over the beef, which I'm going to pull out now. Found untrimmed tri-tip at Raley's, of course, for $3.99 a pound. So I don't just buy one steak, I get a pack for $36.51. I received almost 10 pounds, 9.15 pounds of beef. Now, I always look, because it says untrimmed. I'm going to hold it real close there. You can see there's the fat still on there as opposed to the meat side. See the fat in there? That's the untrimmed part. Okay, you want to look, and you see that one's pretty thick. You want to find which ones have the thinnest. Unless you want to eat a lot of fat. A lot of people like to have that barbecued slowly. A lot of it renders away. A lot of it turns into greatness when you season it. But in the past, I've trimmed it as I was doing this, bagging it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide if I'm going to trim it after I defrost it from the freezer. So let me rinse. So the beef is staying in the bag, okay? It's not leaving the bag until it goes into a bag. So I'm not going to worry about cross-contamination, pork, beef, chicken. It's one of the main concerns of food-borne illness. But I'm going to be careful. You know, the nice thing about bagging the pork is when it defrosts, I open one side of it and I just rinse it in the bag and just rinse, fill, cold water, fill the bag, give it a shake, dump, you know, and I don't have to handle the pork again. And I can literally season in the bag and give it a stir around and just over season it, close the bag up and let it sit there and marinate while I'm lighting the barbecue. And, you know, it could sit there in the bag that I made these into. So we'll cut open the beef. Okay, give it a smell, of course. Smells like a cow. Smells too much like a cow. Okay. Same thing. And sorry if this is a long video. It's informative, guys, you know. Let's seal off a couple of bags real quick. I think I'm just going to do 2 bags. And seal just a couple of them. There's one. It really doesn't take too long, you know, and this is one of the points that I'm trying to show you is once you get the knack of it, it doesn't take anything at all to take the time out to do this. You can do the same thing with hamburger. Buy it in large packages and break it down. Some people like to buy the large tubes. You see them at Walmart, whatever. Buy it by the big 10-pound wrap of kitty. We're not having my steak, thank you. So I got 2 bags here. Double sealed on the bottom. Ready to go. Let's see what kind of kitty know what kind of deals we got this time. That's not a bad looking tri-tip. The fat on it looks good. No kitty. No kitty. See, that's one tri-tip. I'm gonna lay these in here as tightly as I can. Looks like we've got some big ones here. Yeah, some pretty good sized tri-tips here in these bags. And this one got a nice layer of fat on it. I'm liking the way it looks. Fat is flavor, you know? Fat is flavor. And, I thought I was going to do this with 2, but I need 1 more bag. So, because my hands are in the sink, the meat is in the sink, I'm going to just do a quick cold water rinse. Just get the bulk of the stuff off my hands. I'm not so much worried about the beef. And when you got these rolled bags, it doesn't take nothing to whip out another bag when you need it. faster if the seal element didn't need to cool down between. But it makes you cool the seal element down. Alright, we got our third bag. So out of this, what is it, $36, I got 3 tri-tip. Okay. $12 a piece. And you might ask, okay, how long does that tri-tip feed your family? Well, I could barbecue it and we could eat that in a night. Okay. Just grubbing on a barbecued piece of meat, you know how it is. Or I put it into a crock pot after I sear it either on the barbecue or sear it in a pan of oil with seasonings pre-rubbed on it, and then put it in the crock pot 8 hours on low. And after about 8 hours, it will begin to shred. Okay. If you can't get it to pull apart with 2 forks, leave it on low for another hour or 2. And then, now I'm going to wash my hands again. I don't even like touching the water faucet after I've washed my hands because I haven't re-sanitized the sink afterwards, but I'm not a germaphobe. So these went in pretty dry compared to the pork. There's a couple of spots you can see where moisture's lingering there. Just take your towel, a clean towel, put it in the bag. Get a little squeeze. And we're ready to. And this has a wet feature on it, so if you have wet stuff that you're trying to do, it'll do it also. And it's sucking. Sometimes not as much as I'd like it to be, so I reposition it, like I said. I've got an odd angle for the meat in here. There we go. Now she's sealing. It's a good feeling. You go to the store and I mean, this is about $70 worth of meat. $70 worth of meat. Okay. Many people can go out and eat a meal at a restaurant for $70. I've done it. One meal. Where they're like, do you want a doggy bag? And you're like, no, because you don't have anywhere to put it. There we go. Nice and sealed. It's in there. All the air's out of it. It's double vacuum sealed. Into the freezer it goes. I'm going to seal this one above the liquidy part, or below it. So I'm going to go for this one. Double sealed. That's a nice looking steak. That steak will feed. I have fed 7 people on a steak like this. 7 people.